Oh, what a night to have my webcam die twice in stream. Okay, so I guess these things happen. All right, where was I? Okay, we're back. My apologies. Stuff happens. Where was I? Let's see. I was talking about the Overdrive app, wasn't I? Okay, let me just check. Okay, no dropped frames. CPU hit is decent. I did close Facebook because I was worried about that being the issue, because Facebook, of course, is a memory hog. Okay, so where are we? All right, so here I am, the Overdrive app. This is available in the Windows Store. You can also just go to the website. And when I say go to the website, I probably am misspeaking. You should go to your library's website, right? So get a library card. Um, Validate it if you have to, if you haven't used it in a while. But then more importantly, just about every public library has like a list of reciprocal or of other library systems that where they have reciprocity. So they have reciprocal borrowing agreements with them. In other words, owning possessing a card and membership in one system will automatically grant you eligibility for a card in another system, even though you wouldn't otherwise meet their requirements. So, for instance, I live in Tacoma. It's a city that's we're 20 miles south of Seattle, and it's also in Pierce County in the state of Washington. However, Tacoma, as a public library system, has reciprocal borrowing arrangement with King County, which is adjacent to us. Seattle itself exists in King County, and we actually only live just probably 6 or 7 blocks from the King County boundary. So we pretty much have a lot of activity in King County. I work in King County, um, and so having even though I live within the Tacoma city limits, having their library card automatically qualifies me for a card in the King County system. So that's how I have a King County card. And then of course I just live in Pierce County as well, since my city is nested within it. So I have 3 library cards that are associated with this service. Um, so the main thing is to get to Overdrive is you take your library card, go to their library website, and in fact, let's do that right now instead of me just saying it. So let's go to the King County Library Service. And by default, I usually just search the King County system. Uh, they've won multiple awards over the past 20 years or so on and broken a bunch of distribution records. They pride themselves in being a library that serves the public in the best interest of how libraries are supposed to serve. So I love the King County library system. Um, and so I patronize them as often as I can, and they're the default library that I use when I search for titles to borrow. So I'm gonna go ahead and log into my account, but I probably shouldn't reveal my card number in stream. So let me do this off my other monitor. So let's do that real quick, and let's switch monitors again. Okay, we'll throw this back. So what I'm going to do here is this is the main library interface, and I can search for physical titles. Um, that's not what we're here to discuss, though. So what I'm going to do is go over to the online library, and when we click this, there's so keep in mind, Overdrive's not the only service that's here. I'm just here tonight to demonstrate Overdrive and how this plays really well with a Kindle. Um, so what you can do is you can get audiobooks. There are databases you can access, dictionaries and encyclopedias. Okay, of course, right. Ebooks is what we're after, right? Lots of education. If you haven't used a public library in the past 10 years, you've got to understand that they do more to address, some needs and access gaps than just about any other organization or groups of organizations. They do a lot to assist those who are impoverished by providing internet access and providing all of these things that we're about to see, which is like music. You can borrow digital music and streaming. This library system has computers and technology. You can check out a laptop. I don't know if you can take it off site, but you can check out a laptop on top of using the computer lab that's on site. It's pretty freaking amazing. But I'm gonna go to ebooks, um, and it should take me to the Overdrive interface. I don't know if it will. I might have to select Overdrive from here. And do I have a slow internet connection? Is this possibly why my webcam froze? No, that wouldn't be why. Okay, I think the website, the King County website, is being a little bit slow. Right when I'm bragging about how awesome they are. So when this loads up, and again, keep in mind I'm online with in a web browser. Okay, so here we go. So for ebooks, we have all these options here: Bookflix video short storybooks, online literacy resource that pairs classic video storybooks with related nonfiction ebooks. Hoopla, which is a streaming service. Movies, TV, music, and comics for your computer or mobile devices. All titles available with no holds and no waiting. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Libby app from Overdrive. One-tap access to ebooks. And downloadable audiobooks from Overdrive on your mobile device. Okay, so Libby is a reader, so maybe we'll add that to the agenda here, and we might take a look at Libby. That's new to me. So we can we definitely can take a look at that. Overdrive itself. So this is the service that libraries subscribe to for their digital borrowing. RB Digital is for magazines. I don't have a tablet, so to speak, so I don't bother with it. And then Tumblebook Library is video storybooks and read-alongs. So there's all, this is a wealth of data and information right here. I probably should see what these folks want. This is the same text thread that you keep hearing here. All right, so let's go to Overdrive. So when I click on Overdrive, like I said, I've got the app installed. It was opened earlier. It still is open. I just switched windows. Ooh, I don't want to ruin my... Okay, and of course they're going to pimp the app, so let's dismiss that little reminder to install. So here it is. It doesn't look a whole lot different than their actual library interface, but oh, look at this. Libby has a Microsoft Windows 10 app. Maybe we'll try Libby on the laptop as well. So yeah, we'll take a look. That's definitely exciting. So what I'm going to do here is if I click on heck, ooh, getting blown up here. So if I click on the bookshelf, this is going to kind of take me to what I've got checked out, and from this point forward, it looks just like it does in the app, so I'm not going to sign in again. Let's just go back to the app. All right, so let's go to King County. And my apologies to anyone that might have been here earlier and then left. I got my webcam froze on me twice at the beginning of this stream. And then I don't know if my internet is slow or if the King County Library system server is just a little bit slow, but I'm pretty impatient, so I was disappointed with I am disappointed with how long these screens are taking to load. So I'm going to my bookshelf, and I have to sign in again. And okay, let's do this. Whoa, what happened? Overdrive, where'd you go? Did it crash? It crashed on me, didn't it? Yeah. Overdrive crashed. Everything's crashing on me today. That's all right. We have backup plans, don't we? So, okay, so let's go back here. Let me sign into King County. Try this again. Okay, okay, here we go. You do have a device limit on with the Overdrive service. I think they validate through Adobe Air or whatever service it is. So you do have a 10 device limit, which I regularly exceed. So I'm usually when we get a new phone or we get a new computer in the household, I'll have to go in and deactivate one of the devices. So if I click here on my bookshelf, it's going to show what I currently have checked out. So I've got a cookbook checked out. This is actually not correct. I have another cookbook that I'm borrowing as well. Oh, but that one's in another. Yeah, no, I apologize. I'll go ahead and silence these people. I have a group of friends that are they're having a little text thread powwow right now. So I do have another cookbook, but I forgot to borrow that from another library system. So I've got just a cookbook here. My daughter's trying to learn how to cook, so I figured I'd get like a basic survival cookbook that she can read through if she wants. She also just checked this book out, and this is my 11-year-old daughter. She just checked this book out last night because she was needing another book to read. Um, so when you do have a book checked out, you would click Read with Kindle to get it onto your Kindle. For all of these, any of your books that you've checked out through Overdrive can be read in a browser as well. So I'm going to go ahead and launch one of these in a browser. And there goes my webcam again. Okay, you know what? Let's just keep the stream going and then we'll just hide the webcam because I'm not going to go through that again. I think you can still hear me. According to everything that I see in front of me, I think you can still hear me. So let's just hide the webcam from the scene. All right, now I'll have to troubleshoot that later. That irritates me. So this is not optimal for reading because it's a screen, right? But they do the best they can to accommodate. So within Overdrive's web browser interface, we can click up here to get to start adjusting options. So you could see here, this is going to toggle us between panes, right? So this will give me a 2-page layout versus a 1-page layout. So that's all preference based, right? You can go to reading settings, and for the lighting, right? Certainly because like a white screen is going to be tough on the eyes, right? So they have 3 different settings here. You can go sepia, dark. I prefer dark. You can also go bright, which was the default. Text scaling, so if you have different visual needs, it's giving you a preview right above here. So you can adjust this according to your visual needs. So it gives you a little bit here about the actual book design. Oh, look at this, Open Dyslexic. I don't know what this is. This book design uses the Open Dyslexic font, which, okay, so yeah, so basically there's a lot of research that's gone into the fonts types that are most responsive to those with visual disabilities, including dyslexia. And so this book was designed to use they selected the font of this book to accommodate that. And that's phenomenal for those of you who haven't seen my other streams where we look at the immersive reader in OneNote. Oh, are you in for a treat if any of your anyone close to you, if you've known anyone that has any kind of a learning disability, the immersive reader in OneNote is phenomenal. Every educator should know about it. Every friend or family member of an educator, and certainly anybody that knows somebody with a learning disability should know this. All right, so to navigate this, I think we can use the arrow keys. Yeah, so I can use my left and right arrow keys to just turn the page. You probably can also click and drag your mouse. This is less elegant. So then using the arrow keys. Of course, if you're on the app, it's going to look a little bit, or it'll function with a touch screen, right? So we'll look at that in a moment. So the table of contents is interactive, right? So if I float my mouse pointer over here, you can see that we can chapter skip. So I can slip straight to chapter 6 if I want to. Give it a little time to load. And here comes chapter 6. And we can navigate through. And you know what I wonder? Let's find out. I wonder if there's an on-screen reader. So if this will read audio for us. Now, of course, through your accessibility settings in Windows or even iOS, it probably can read for you as well. But I'm wondering if there's a reader that's built into this. So let's just start clicking on stuff. Because why the hell not, right? We can adjust line spacing. That's super useful. Offline access. I never bother with this, but that could be important if you're going on a road trip and you just want to put the book on the laptop and then not worry about having to have an internet connection. Um, yeah, so I don't have a reader, but that's okay. We can go over the on-screen. What am I talking about? Sorry, Chad. I'm not paying attention here. Um, I probably cannot copy and paste into OneNote. I don't think any of this text is selectable. Yeah, so this interface is going to limit me to a click and drag. So, but I wonder. Let's go ahead and try something. We're going to learn something new here. I wonder what would happen if I try to screen clip and let OneNote try to do optical character recognition. So let's try this. That's not what I want. Let's go back here. So I just launched the screen clipper and pasting this into OneNote. Let's try the immersive reader and see what happens. Couldn't find text on the page. That's not the end of the story though, so hang on. That's not the end of the story. I might be able to convert text. Okay, so I'm going to do something that I kind of promised the stream I wouldn't do a whole lot, and that is I'm going to switch the version of OneNote that I'm using. So let me go to the 2016 version of OneNote. Those of you who were not with me on Saturday we did a stream that was titled the Three-Headed Dragon OneNote, the Three-Headed Learning, a Dragon for Learning. So, okay, so I'm in a different version of OneNote right here. And let's see if we can make text in image searchable. So let's do this. I'm going to turn that on. And let's just search. I'm seeing here bib lettuce. I don't know what the hell bib lettuce is. I found it. Okay, so what's going to happen here is now that this text is searchable, I might be able to launch the immersive reader here. Holy shit. Okay, well, check this out. Again, those of you, if you got somebody close to you with a learning disability, or if you have somebody close to you that perhaps is trying to learn English as a second language, or they're an English language learner, check this out. I got the immersive reader from. Okay, you know what? Before we do this, I'm gonna get greedy here. I want more. So I want more. Let's get a bigger screen clip. Let's take the whole goddamn page. Actually, let's take the whole page if we can. Okay. I'm gonna go to another page that's got more text. Let's go greedy. All right, let's do it. I'm gonna go insert a screen clipping. And we're just going to highlight all of this and let's make this searchable. Okay, so I think that's already enabled. Let's search for a word in there. Quiznos. Okay, found it. Okay, so this is now going to work with the immersive reader. And if you haven't seen this yet, it's amazing. I can adjust text size. I can adjust spacing. I can change the theme. Okay. And again, if you know somebody, or you yourself perhaps are learning or are an English language learner, give me the nouns, give me the verbs, give me the adjectives, show syllables. Holy shit. We can switch voices. We have David. We have Zira. There are more voices. I'm not going to go through that though, because you have to go through, download them through Windows Update. I'm not going to bother with that. I might do that for a future stream, but we're not going to do that today.
An exercise in excess. Now here's the caveat. With the power to create comes the power to inflate. For this there's no greater evidence than the greasy bread boats being served at your local chain restaurant. Sure, there are decent options out there, but more often than not the junk that comes stuffed between those two pieces of bread is enough to turn Mona Lisa into Homer Simpson.
You can adjust the speed. If she's reading too fast, slow her down.
Simpson. Want proof? Quiznos now serves more than a dozen sandwiches surpassing 000 calories apiece.
So that's not perfect, because clearly that was meant to be the word 1000. But you get the gist of it, right? So wow, that's pretty amazing. So that's the immersive reader. And I just did a screen clip from OneNote, right? Possibly a really crooked way to do that, because I know with some of these digital books, they want to place limits on what you can do as far as screen captures go. And I don't know if this book title has recognized those two clips as screen captures. So that's possibly like an underhanded way to get a book and to convert it into an audiobook. Not saying to do that. Just saying that it's possible. This is all about cheapskates, after all, right? So if, why not take a book that's available for free, borrow it from the library, and then convert it to an ebook using the immersive reader in OneNote? Okay, I didn't really say that, but perhaps I did. Wow. Okay, so my mind is blown here. So okay, let's switch here. I promised you the phone. Except not the phone. I'm jumping the gun. I need to go back to my own agenda. So one thing at a time. Okay, so finding books. Let's actually borrow a book. So I'm going to click Kindle books, because tonight's stream is really about the Kindle. So there are books that are not available in any Kindle formats that you can still read through a web browser, or perhaps that Libby app, which we're going to check out later. See, because there are different formats here. You got the EPUB ebook format. There's the Open EPUB ebook. I stopped using. I've been using Overdrive for probably the better part of 10 or 11 years, ever since our first daughter was born. The EPUB format became frustrating. I used to use it because I was kind of anti-Amazon as in as many places in my life as I could be. So I resisted using the Kindle books, and I went EPUB as often as possible. And at that time, for a time, I also had a Nexus 7 that I used to use to read a lot on screen. And EPUB was an admirable attempt to get these books. And I'm just realizing how tiny that text is. Can I increase? Okay, let's zoom in here, so then that way on screen it looks a little more legible. So yeah, I resisted the Kindle formats, but then when I inherited my wife's Kindle Touch, I'm like, yeah, this really is better than the EPUB format. And the EPUB format just was buggy as hell. Perhaps it's improved. So we'll see how that Libby app works. We're gonna find out in a moment later in the stream. But yeah, let's take a look at finding a book here. So I want another cookbook. So let's just search. So let's search for cookbook. And look at that, it just throws me back to the Zoom level I was at before. Presbyterian cookbooks, so all these books that conform to religious diets or restrictions. The Drinking Food of Thailand. The Orange is the New Black cookbook. Okay, that's fascinating. Well, my wife and I are way behind in Orange is the New Black. We only watched the first 2 seasons. I don't know, they probably have 7. A World of Warcraft cookbook. Okay, so hang on for a minute here. So check out the interface here. If you haven't noticed, titles are flagged here as waitlisted or available. So just because your library has bought license to lend an ebook doesn't mean that it has unlimited titles. In fact, almost none of them are when it comes to the Kindle format. So they have a limited number of licenses, and what they do is those licenses get temporarily associated with your Amazon account with an expiration date. So then once it expires, the license gets returned back to the library, and then they can then distribute it to the next borrower. So let's turn on some filters, because I'm not interested in shit that's not available now. So over here in the left-hand pane, I can just click not all titles, but let's just click available now, because I don't give a shit about the things that are not available now. I am excited for this World of Warcraft cookbook. Okay, I don't play World of Warcraft, but I love to to immerse myself in nerd culture as much as possible. I do own one of the Game of Thrones cookbooks, and I cook out of that frequently. One of the cookbooks, when I showed you my library shelf, and I forgot that I had borrowed it from the Pierce County library system, but I do have the Chronicles of Narnia cookbook. So let's go ahead and add the World of Warcraft cookbook as well. You can see here, this library system decided to only purchase one digital license, right? So for titles that are more heavily in more heavy demand, like Harry Potter books, if you're familiar with the whatever after series, if you've got kids in your life that read whatever after, that's an amazing series as well. And so those titles are in heavy demand, so there's usually a wait list, but the libraries will also try to respond to the demand by purchasing additional licenses. This obviously is kind of a niche title, so they only have one copy, and before I should just borrow it instead of talking my ass off so that I finally get it, because somebody else might be trying to borrow it. So the default lending period you could see there was 21 days. I should have, before I clicked borrow, show that you could drop that menu and choose a shorter lending period. You can go 14 days or 7 days. And now we can either download the EPUB ebook, and then that would be, we could read that through Libby or perhaps in a web browser. I don't know if the web browser would be an option. But we're going to click read now with Kindle. It's going to take us to the Amazon website. Is it? Maybe not. Okay, so let me sign in with my library card again. Thought I did this already. Damn it. I hope I don't exceed my device limit when I do this. Okay, let's read now with Kindle. Get my phone ready for this. I need the camera. And so if you have, so this is my Kindle account. If you have multiple Kindles, which I do, you can only choose one, right? This is a single license. So you choose the Kindle, excuse me, that you want to send this to, and then you click get. Get good. No, get library book. And we're done with that. So it says, thanks, continue shopping. No, I don't want to shop because I don't want to spend money. This whole stream is about being a cheapskate. So no, I don't want to shop for other crap. But let's take a look at my phone's display now, because I'm just basically using my phone as a document camera. So, come on, rotate the display. Rotate the display. Come on, visor. Rotate, visor. Come on. Really? You're going to do this to me, visor? Okay, hang on. Let me... I'm gonna cuss. I'm gonna cuss. Because I have my phone on a tripod. Okay, so let's do this. Let's close this and let's try again. It was landscape earlier, and it's not landscape now, and that's gonna bother me. So we're gonna try once to fix it, just once. And let's make sure that, okay, dismiss all of that shit. All of that cheat. Okay, phone's looking good. An error occurred. Restart it. Okay, so close visor. Restart it. Use some boot. Okay, so go back. Start again, visor. Give me my Z2 play. Oh, you know what? Let's try that again. Maybe this was part of what caused my issue with my webcam. Although I don't think so. My other streams, I had my phone plugged in and wired in. I had visor up. the whole time. So I don't know what was going on with that tonight, but my phone's acting up too. So maybe just every device in my life hates me, which would be okay. There we go. There we go. There we go. Just needed to reauthorize. All right, are we ready? Let's see here. This is my phone. Let's minimize everything else. Do I have the same problem? Whoa, you're gonna bother me. Visor, you're gonna bother me. Okay, so that's fine. Can you turn your head sideways, or can I just turn this to match? All right, so I'll just turn the Kindle sideways. So what did we do? What the heck? I spent that time troubleshooting. What on earth is going on? Let's go back. So what I had done was I have this World of Warcraft book. We just checked it out a few minutes ago, and what we're gonna do is we're going to we sent it to my Kindle. So let's wake the Kindle up. And you can see here that the new title just popped up right there. The World of Warcraft cookbook. Oh, no, we don't want to cancel that download. It's not done downloading. I jumped the gun a little bit. So we've got a percentage marker right here. It's taking a little bit longer than I wanted it to. You can see here I have other books. Keep in mind, I have paid for almost none of these. So I've got a Bible there. I've got my union contract here. I do, the one title I did pay for is the 5-book collection of Game of Thrones. It doesn't have the 6th book. I don't know if the 6th book's been released yet. So you'll see some things that I've downloaded from Project Gutenberg. So Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tales. I've got some philosophy here. So I've got the Critique of Pure Reason. I'd love to read Immanuel Kant. Fundamental Principles of Metaphysics. So some of these other Game of Thrones books were PDFs that were stripped of their DRMs. But I went ahead and just bought the 5-book collection of the Constitution of the United States. So I've got Apology, I've got Republic, I've got A Christmas. What happened? Right, so all these classics that you're seeing here were taken off of Project Gutenberg. So here's the Narnia cookbook I was telling you about. I borrowed that one from the Pierce County system, Last Dragon Slayer. And then here's the World of Warcraft cookbook. Let's go ahead and open it. Then there you go. We've borrowed an ebook and send it to the Kindle. As long as the Kindle has an internet connection, it'll just automatically sync and we can start reading. So again, this is a Kindle Touch, not the Paperwhite edition. It does not have its own backlight, so when I do need a backlight, I gotta go fetch the cover out of here. So illustrations are there, even though they're grayscaled, because this is a e-ink Kindle. But yeah, so borrowing books is as simple as that. You want to know the beauty of this? Check this out. I'm gonna go back to my bookshelf. This is the Overdrive app, right? I'm gonna go back to the bookshelf. Look at this. You want to return a title? Don't get in your car and drive to the library. Just click this fucking button. Are you sure you want to return this title? Yeah, we're not going to bother with that. We'll check out some other cookbook. So I'm going to return it. And it'll disappear from this bookshelf. It's not going to disappear from the Kindle though. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Because Amazon is always sneaky, just like any corporation would be. So here it is. Cook this, not that. If I try to open it, oh, that's odd. It should not have let me open it. It should have recognized that the license has expired. Typically, when I try to open a book after I've returned it, it says you do not have. There we go. There we go. No, that was my phone. I don't know why my phone keeps janking out on the camera for us. Normally, it tells you that you do not have license for this book anymore. And that's odd. I returned it, but yet I can still read it. The other thing, too, about this is when a book is about to expire, it'll just return itself. So you can renew a title as it's about to expire, or you can just let it expire and return itself. That's odd, this right here, and perhaps my Kindle's just taking a little bit longer to sync the account information. Because yeah, it should not let me open that. But so typically, what would happen is you get denied access to the book. It's still stored on your Kindle, and so Amazon invites you to purchase it. But obviously, that didn't happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and long press this, and then let's just you can remove from device. You can see right there. So we can remove it from the device. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap that and be done with it. So it's not in my collection anymore on the Kindle. Wow. Interesting stuff. Okay, where are we at here? I want to go back to my agenda. Okay, so we borrowed a book via the Overdrive service. Let me turn my Wacom tablet back on. Okay, so we borrowed a book from the Overdrive service. I don't know what I just did there. Okay. So let's take a look at Project Gutenberg. So if you go to gutenberg.org, as it's listed right up here, they also have a mobile website. So if you want to be doing this on a book, that's great. So what is this all about? Well, you know, Gutenberg takes all these titles that are in the public domain, and they not only work together to digitize them and make them consumable in the ebook formats, audiobooks as well. They work together to create audiobooks. They also work in multiple languages, so it's kind of an open source global effort, so to speak. So they have their notices up here. So no fees and no custom apps required. Project Gutenberg never charges a fee for anything. Look at this. Public domain will grow again next year. So in the US, annual copyright term expiry is set to begin again in 2019 after a 20-year hiatus due to the Copyright Term Extension Act of '98. So on January 1st, items published in 1923 will enter the public domain in the US. In the early days of Project Gutenberg, growth of the public domain on January 1 was an annual event. And so now, for the first time in 20 years, they're going to have more books qualify to be digitized under this service. So, what is Gutenberg all about? Well, let's browse their catalog. Actually, let's go to their bookshelves. I don't know. Let's see. Go to the index of the bookshelves page. So let's see what's here. So we have categories: animals, children's bookshelf, classics, countries, crime, education, history, right? We got fine arts, religion, science. Let's go to philosophy. Can we? Psychology and philosophy. I'm going to go to philosophy. Or do we want to go witchcraft? No. So it looks like they've categorized things here for us. We've got histories of philosophies, general introductions, some good stuff. Some of my favorites are right here, right? We've got Plato, we've got Aristotle, Immanuel Kant, different languages, right? Bertrand Russell. John Stuart Mill. Let's go here. So when you click on a title, it's going to give you all kinds of options, right? So you can go read it, just read it online, just read it in your browser, just go straight to the HTML, right? Nothing to download, just click on it and it'll take you to the page. You can go that EPUB format. So this is where Libby might be important to us. Like I said, I had a love-hate relationship with the EPUB format, both with images and without. Okay, Kindle format with images and without. Plain text. We can click more files here, so more formats would be available. So these are zips. Here's a text file. Look at all the options they give you. So I could click Kindle with images, but instead, what I used to do is I used to just go to this website on the Kindle to save the step of having to plug my Kindle into my computer. So maybe it would be quicker if I just went ahead and downloaded one of those books. Maybe not. I have no idea. So I'm going to go ahead and launch the web browser. Now, this was one of the first Kindle models that had a browser built into it, so it was still kind of in an experimental phase. Maybe I'm wrong about that. There could have been other books. So I am at the mobile version of the Gutenberg website. So that's funny. My QR code reader in the camera thought that there was a QR code here. So what were we looking for? John Stuart Mill. So let's go ahead and search. And sorry, I have to turn this so. John Stuart Mill. And let's scroll here. Utilitarianism. I think I have that already on this Kindle. I'm looking for. Maybe I should have searched by title. Okay, here we go. So let's download this. So let's go and scroll to the downloads, EPUB, Kindle with images. All right, so I want Kindle with images. So let's take it. And then there goes my phone again. Just assuming that. All right, so let's download it. Again, this is a global project that's where people are taking books in the public domain and converting them not only digitally but also consumable on e-readers. Again, thank you for being here, folks. I know that there's not much going on in chat, and I'm just getting started with this stream. The download's complete, so I'm going to leave my web browser and go straight to my homepage, and I can see right here we've got a new book, free of charge. Okay, it's in the Kindle format, so as much as you can, and really you're at the mercy of the volunteers really that have converted this, but they do a pretty good job of breaking down in chapters so that you can navigate through the book electronically as well instead of just going page by page by page, and that's pretty amazing, right? Again, classics, don't pay for them, and certainly, accessible from anywhere at any time you have an internet connection. So let's see, that's Project Gutenberg, and there's more there too. If we want to go back there, we can go back to a different bookshelf. And we can grab classic children's literature, right? So we can go anthologies, Christmas, children's fiction. Looks like they're sorted by author or categorized by author. You can see here, it's got dates of publications. You can also go to the catalog search. I was just trying to use their bookshelves feature to see how everything was organized. But you could browse the catalog. Let's go ahead and go here. You could filter by language. So it says here languages with more than 50 books are listed here. Languages with up to 50 books are here. And then you have special categories. So the audiobooks, now computer generated means that the voice assistants or the voice accessibility readers were used. Human read audiobooks, right? That's possibly a really cool way to contribute to this project, is if you've got a super awesome voice, to volunteer to be one of those folks that reads these books. You can search by author. Right, we were searching Hans Christian Andersen. You can search, how about Steinbeck? I don't know if Steinbeck's going to be in here. These books might be too recent for to be in the public domain. No, I don't even know if I'm spelling the name right. Am I? Yeah, I think a lot of these American authors are possibly going to be too new. To be in the public domain. Oh, there's my browser freezing up. Here, let's just click home. Go back. Web page might be too tall for everything that's going on with my computer right now. But how about some founding fathers stuff? Can we go Thomas Jefferson? I could search, right? I could just click in the search field. I probably should, because now I'm getting too impatient. What am I looking for? I just had a brain fart. Jefferson Davis, Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson, here we go. So we have all these writings, right? The writings is a volume collection. There's other volume collections here. State of the Union address. Here's an audiobook here, Declaration of Independence. So somebody's read that for us. Let's check one of these out here. The writings of Thomas Jefferson. So here, volume 1 of 9. Yeah, so it looks like all the volumes are here. Memoirs, correspondence, miscellanies. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. Let's go ahead and take one of these. Let's go EPUB, Kindle with images, Kindle with no images. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take the Kindle with images. And yeah, I'm just going to plug the damn thing in. We can save this to downloads. Just so we can see that it works both ways, right? They're small downloads typically. Although this one says it's 19 megabytes. That first book that I downloaded right off of the Gutenberg website was a small download. It took seconds to download. Okay, so Kindle is plugged in. All we have to do is move the download into the documents folder of the Kindle, I believe, or we might even be able to just move it onto the root drive. So let's take our downloads, sort by date, because of course we just downloaded this. What happened? Where'd you go? Oh, is it not? It's not done. Look at me. No, it's done now. Okay, so can I refresh? Here it is right here. So let's put this on a Kindle. And let that complete. So if you've never done this kind of a transfer on a Kindle before, just know that when you are in file transfer mode on the Kindle, it's not going to let you read any of the titles on it, right? So you can keep it plugged in to charge it, but you will have to go in here and eject the Kindle. So let's eject, not format, eject. And what that does for us is we can now, and I can unplug this. I don't need to charge it. My Kindle was recently charged. And I don't see it. That's possibly disturbing. I don't know if disturbing is the right word. Irritating? Let's try it again. Maybe I did need to put it in the documents folder. I don't do this often. I usually just download books. Yeah, it looks like it. So let's put this into documents and see what happens. And now let's eject you. Eject. And there we go. Here we go. So now we have a new volume collection of Thomas Jefferson's writings. And these looks like, so one of the processes by which some of these get digitized is just scans. So that would be why this is so big, is just because I chose Kindle with images, so it included the scans. So even though the text itself is in the Kindle format and would be searchable, it includes the scans, which is why all of those, which was why it was 19 megabytes versus this much smaller download size. If we went Kindle without images, it's less than half as big download wise. So I might change that and download the other one. So that's Project Gutenberg. Fun stuff. All right, so we've looked at the e-ink Kindles as well. So when you think about devices, let's go ahead and go to Kindle Web before I go to the Kindle mobile app. I haven't used this in a while, so this will be, I'll be curious to see what updates have been brought to it. So I'm already logged in here, so if you go to just read.amazon.com and then sign into your Amazon account, there are a substantial number of titles here, and that's because almost everything I've ever borrowed from a library is showing up here. And how behind am I? Okay, hang on, I'm in the wrong window. I'll go back to Streamlabs. Okay, so almost everything I've borrowed from, like my entire borrowing history, is going to show up here. So some of these things were only for my daughter's Kindle Fire. So a lot of these children's books aren't compatible with an e-ink Kindle. We do see the Narnia book here. We do see the book that I shouldn't have access to. If I were to click on it now, I probably would be denied access. Let's go ahead and try it. No, it's well, Kindle, get your shit together. I returned this book. I want to hit the back button, but I actually want to kind of honor the interface and see if I can just go back. Here we go. Yeah, now I can just click library. I don't want to read that right now. But we do have the World of Warcraft cookbook, so maybe this might look better with color illustrations rather than the grayscales of my e-ink reader. All right, so here we have, I'm looking for, there we go. So I'm looking for the text options, and I don't know how I got to that. Did I just mouse up? Hang on, let me just see here. Yeah, so if you mouse up near the edge of your browser interface, then we can get to the text options, because I cannot read on the white screen here. Show reading location, sure. We can adjust font size, we can adjust margins. Let's go full margins if we can. Apply the settings. There we go, dark theme, right? Everything needs a dark theme. Easier on the eyes. You can see here it's still downloading the book, which is odd. Probably should have. Oh, this is these illustrations, just phenomenal. And that's a great picture of some garlic and shallots. And again, hopefully these are clickable. Spices and basics. Let's go to northern spices. Yeah, okay, so The book is, the navigation links are clickable. So northern spices. So it's showing you how to get together any kinds of medieval kinds of recipes are going to have like lots of allspice, gingers, nutmegs, mace, things like that. I've cooked plenty out of the Game of Thrones cookbook to be familiar with the kinds of spices that I was going to expect here. So I kind of knew what I was getting into when I clicked that, and I don't know if they go back into some other medieval kinds of spices like the poudre fort or the the, the poudre dulce. But yeah, fun stuff. If you've never cooked medieval style, you got to do it. You got to do it. The Game of Thrones cookbook is phenomenal. And you know what? Let's cheat again. I'm going off script here or off agenda. I'm gonna go to my Game of Thrones cookbook because you know what I'm curious about. I'm curious about that screen cap thing that I was talking about earlier. I want to know. Can I go to the immersive reader from here? Can I? I'm gonna take this. Oh, so by far, this honeyed chicken. Um, Let me zoom in here just in case you want this recipe. You can always like time slip and then come back and screen cap this. Let's make the text size bigger. Perhaps didn't mean to go that big. Okay. Yeah, that was too bad. Okay, I don't care. I'm just gonna screen cap this. Okay, let's do this again. Um, what I'm curious is Google Play Books going to recognize this as a screen cap? Because again, you have screen cap limits. Part of the digital licensing is you have screen cap limits on what you can do with a book. So I should, if this works the way it was intended to work, I should get a warning that I've screen capped out of the book. I didn't. And when we go back here and okay, make it's searchable again. Holy crap. We'll go to learn the immersive reader. I don't think the book
Serves
was meant
3
to
to
work
4
this way.
prep, 15 minutes sauce, 30 minutes cooking, 1 to 11 halves hours pairs well with crusty white bread.
I love this recipe. It's simple, it's delicious, it's a lot of fun to serve. Oh, and by the way, yeah, so this is Google Play Books. This is not part of the discussion for today necessarily, just because it's this wasn't free. I bought this book on Google Play. Okay, so here we are, World of Warcraft book. I think I'm running out of steam here. I am running near my time to start retiring for the night. So let's take a look at the agenda and see what we have and have not done. We've done Kindle Web. Maybe we save the mobile app for another session, perhaps. And let me dismount my phone from the tripod here. I am curious about Libby, so maybe we end the stream with Libby. So I'm just going to go to the Google Play Store. And let's search for Libby. So again, this is a reader that's tied to the Overdrive service. Okay, small download, 2 megabytes. I like that. So let's install this and find out what it looks like. Yes, we have a library card. Okay, let me throw this to the other monitor so I'm not showing. I'm going to log into this. Look at this. I'm asking Libby to guess my public library, so she guessed based on location. So, oh, now look at this. Okay, so hang on. If you have a Kindle, we can streamline the way you send books to your device. Okay, let's do that. Okay, I'm going to enter my library card, so just give me a moment here. Whoa. This is exciting. I probably should have started the stream with this. I'm kind of excited about this. I'm just going to randomly pick one of these books because I have plenty of borrowing space. Well, I don't want available soon shit. Come on, get out of here. And this was one of those things where I should have sorted by available now. So, availability now. Okay. So I'm just going to pick a title. I don't really give a shit. Let's borrow it. Okay, so credentials for the membership. Let's put these in right now off screen. Just give me a moment. Oh, I apologize. I got Streamlabs minimized. Oh, sign in with Overdrive. So I'm checking the sign in with Overdrive option, hoping that it'll bring all of my libraries into this as well. And we'll find out. And of course, I need my library card number, so let me get that real quick. And I apologize, that I'm off screen. I just don't want to be putting my information on the stream. Oh, got it. Okay, so copy this, paste it. Okay, so I'm here. Let's go to this. We're gonna click borrow. Okay, so here's what I'm curious about. I'm gonna click read with Kindle. I want to know what this is gonna do. Okay, let me move my tripod because I might have to launch my camera. So I'm gonna go read with Kindle, and then we're gonna click send to Kindle. Again, you're seeing my phone display. Yeah, I don't think that's any more streamlined than the Overdrive app itself. So that was possibly exciting. Okay, so let's, but I don't think that's any less work than just using the Overdrive app as I showed earlier. So why don't we click on Read Book and find out what this looks like within the book itself. Yeah, I'm almost done. It's still counting the pages, so just waiting right here. Oh, okay, I guess I could have started. So I can swipe to read. Yeah, I'm not happy with this. Hang on, looking for settings. So let's adjust the settings here. Again, the first thing I'm going to do is adjust. And these are all going to be really similar to what we were seeing in the web browser earlier. I do like the fact that you could just hop back to your shelf and see other libraries. And we can add libraries as well. So it's possible for us to add more libraries. Okay, so I think that's a wrap for tonight. We've covered using Overdrive to search for titles and borrow. We sent them to a Kindle. We read on screen. We also read on screen two different ways. We read directly in web browsers from the Overdrive service. We also read from Kindle Web, and then also we used an e-ink Kindle model. Then we also went to Project Gutenberg and checked out some free open public domain titles. So thank you for joining me. That's going to be a wrap for tonight. I probably should find somebody to host. That's still something that I'm gonna have to get used to, but no, thank you for joining me seriously, and check out my info page. Look down to the streamers that have been a huge support to me and an inspiration. Give them follows, throw bits or cheer bits at them if possible, or support them in whatever way you feel compelled. So I want to thank you for joining me tonight. I apologize that the webcam had crapped out, but that's fine. I had to restart twice, and then we just went without it for the last part of it. So thank you very much. Have a good night, everybody, and then I hope to see you again on Friday.